do not need a man but frowns.
But what's the matter?
King CYMBELINE and his daughter, the heir of his kingdom, whom he purposed to his wife's sole son, a widow that lately married, had referred herself unto a poor but worthy gentleman.
She is wedded. Her husband banished. She imprisoned. All is outward sorrow, though I think the king be touched at very heart.
None but the king, he that hath lost her too, so the queen that most desired the match, but not a courtier. Although they wear their faces to the bent of the king's looks, hath the heart that is not glad at the thing they scowl at.
And why so?
He that hath missed the princess is a thing too bad for bad report.
And he that hath her, that married her, alack, good man, and therefore banished, is a creature such as to seek through the regions of the earth for one his like. There would be something failing in him that should compare.
You speak him fair. What's his name and birth?
Posthumous Leonatus. His father was called Cecilius, who did join his honor against the Romans, served with admired success, and had, besides this gentleman in question, 2 other sons, who in the wars of the time died with their swords in hand, for which their father, then old and fond of issue, took such sorrow that he quit being, and his gentle lady big of this gentleman our theme deceased as he was born.
The king he takes the babe to his protection, calls him posthumous Leonatus, and thus it was he came to live in court, which rare it is to do, most praised, most loved, a sample to the youngest, to the more mature a glass that feeded them, and to the graver a child that guided dotard.
To his mistress, from whom he now is banished, her own price proclaims how she esteemed him and his virtue. By her election may be truly read what kind of man he is.
Pray you tell, is she sole child to the king?
His only child.
He had 2 other sons. This be worth your hearing, mark it. The eldest of them at 3 years old, in the swathing clothes the other, from their nursery were stolen, and to this hour no guess in knowledge which way they went.
How long is this ago?
Some 20 years.
A king's children should be so conveyed, so slackly guarded, and the search so slow that it could not trace them.
Howsoever 'tis strange, or that the negligence may well be laughed at, yet is it true, ma'am.
We must forbear. Here comes the gentleman, the queen and princess.
No, be assured, daughter, you shall not find me after the slander of most stepmothers. Evil-eyed unto you. You're my prisoner, but your jailer shall deliver you the keys that lock up your restraint. For you, monstrous, so soon as I can win the offended king, I will be your advocate. Marry, yet the fire of rage is still in him, that 'twere good you leaned unto his sentence with what patience your wisdom may inform you.
Please your highness, I will from hence today.
You know the peril. I'll fetch a turn about the garden, pitying the pangs of barred affection, though the king hath charged you should not speak together.
Oh, dissembling courtesy! How fine this tyrant can tickle where she wounds. My dearest husband, I something fear my father's wrath, but nothing his rage can do on me. You must be gone, and I shall hereby the hourly shot of angry eyes, not comforted to live, but that there is this jewel in the world that I may see again.
Oh, my queen, my lady, oh, mistress, weep no more. I will remain the loyalist husband that did e'er play troth. My residence at Rome, at one Florios. Thither write, my queen, and with mine eyes I'll drink the words you send.
Be brief, I pray you. If the king come, I shall incur, I know not how much of his displeasure. Yet I'll move him to walk this way. I never do him wrong, but he does by my injuries to be friends, pays dear for my offenses.
Look here, love. This diamond was my mother's. Take it, heart, but keep it to woo another wife when Imogen is dead.
How another, you gentle gods, give me, but this I have, and spirit my embracements with bonds of death. Oh, remain thou here, while sense can keep it on. For my sake wear this. It is manacle of love. I placed upon the fairest of prisoners.
Oh, the gods, when shall we see again?
Alack the king!
Thou basest thing, my boy! Sight! Back to this command, thou drop the court with thy unworthiness. Thou diest! Away! Thou art poison to my blood.
The gods protect you! And bless the good remainders of the court. I am gone.
There cannot be a pinch in death more sharp than this is.
Disloyal fate. That shouldst prepare my youth. Thou heapst a year's age on me.
I beseech you, sir, harm not yourself with your vexations. I am senseless of your wrath. A touch more rare subdues all pains, all fears.
Past grace, obedience,
Past hope and in despair. That way past grace.
that mightst have had the sole son of my queen.
Oh, bless that I might not. I chose an eagle, and did avoid a buzzard.
Thou tookst a beggar, would have made my throne a seat for baseness.
No, I rather added a luster to it.
Oh, thou vile one.
Sir, it is your fault that I have loved Posthumus. You bred him as my playfellow, and he is a man worth any woman.
What art mad?
Almost, sir, and heaven restore me.
Thou foolish thing! They were again together. You have done naught after our command. Away with her and pen her up.
Beseech your patience. Peace, dear Lady daughter, peace. Sweet sovereign, leave us to ourselves and make yourself some comfort out of your vested wives.
Nay, that to languish a drop of blood a day, and being aged, die of this folly.
Why, you must give way. Here is your servant. How now, wench? What news?
Lord Clopton, your son, drew on my master.
No harm, I trust, is done.
There might have been, but Posthumus rather played than fought. Had no help of anger. They were parted by gentlemen at hand.
I'm very glad of it.
Your son's my father's friend. He takes his part to draw upon an exile. Oh, brave sir. Why came you from your master?
On his command, he would not suffer me to bring him to the haven. Left these notes on what commands I should be subject to when it pleased you to employ me.
This hath been your faithful servant. I dare lay my honor she will remain so.
I humbly thank your highness.
Pray, walk water.
About some half an hour hence, I pray thee speak with me. You shall at least go see my lord aboard. For this time, leave me.
Sir, I would advise you to shift a shirt. The violence of action hath made you weak as a sacrifice. Where air comes out, air comes in. There's none abroad so wholesome as that you bent.
If my shirt were bloody, then to shift it.
Have I hurt him?
No, faith, not so much as his patience. Hurt him! His body's a passable carcass, if it be not hurt. It is a thoroughfare for steel, if it be not hurt.
The villain would not stand me.
No, but he fled forward still toward your face.
I had rather they not come between us.
So would I, if you would measure how long a fool you were upon the ground.
And that she should love this fellow and refuse me.
If it be a sin to make her true election, she is damned. Sir, as I have told you always, her beauty and her brain go not together. She is a good sign, but I have seen small reflection of her wit.
Come, up to my chamber. Would there have been some hurt done?
I wish not so, unless it had been the fall of an ass, which is no great hurt.
You'll go with us?
I'll attend your lordship.
Nay, come. Let's go together.
Well, my lord.
make me, with this eye or ear, distinguish him from others, he did keep the deck, with glove or hat or handkerchief still waving, as the fits and stirs of his mind could best express how slow his soul sailed on, how swift his ship.
Thou shouldst have made him as little as a crow, or less, ere that's after I could.
Madam, so I did.
I would have broke my nice strings, cracked them, but to look upon him, till the diminution of space had pointed him as sharp as my needle. Nay, followed him, till he had melted from the smallness of a gnat to air, and then have turned mine eye and wept. But good Bassanio, when shall we hear from him?
Be assured, madam, with his next vantage.
I did not take my leave of him, but had most pretty things to say, ere I could tell him how I would think on him at certain hours, such thoughts, such, or I could make him swear the seas of Italy could not betray mine interest or his honor, or ere I could give him that parting kiss which I set betwixt two charming words, comes in my father, and like a tear in his breathing of the north shakes all our buds from growing.
The queen, madam, desires your highness's company.
Those things I bid you do, get them dispatched. I will attend the queen.
Madam, I shall.
But how comes it he is to sojourn with you? How creeps acquaintance?
His father and I were soldiers together, to whom I have been often bound for no less than my life. Here comes the Briton. Let him be so entertained amongst you, as suits the gentleman of your knowing to a stranger of his quality. I beseech you all, be better known to this gentleman, whom I commend to you as a noble friend of mine.
So we have known to Geziat and only yours.
Since when I have been a debtor to you for courtesies.
Yet you will rate my poor kindness. I was glad I did not put my countryman of you. It had been a pity you should have been put together upon importance, as then each bore upon importance of so slight and trivial a nature.
By your pardon, sir, my quarrel was not altogether slight.
Oh, faith, yes. To be put to the arbitrement of souls.
Can we with manners ask what was the difference?
Safely, I think. It was a contention in public, where each of us fell in praise of our country mistress. This gentleman at that time vouching, and upon warrant of bloody affirmation, is to be more fair, virtuous, wise, chaste, constant, qualified, and less attemptable than any of the rarest of our ladies of France.
That lady is not now living, or this gentleman's opinion by this worn out.
She holds her virtue still, and I my mind.
You must not so far prefer her for ours of Italy.
So far provoked as I was in France, I would abate her nothing, though I profess myself her adorer, not her friend.
As fair and as good, a kind of hand-in-hand comparison, had been something too fair and too good for any lady in Britain. If she went before others I have seen, as that diamond of yours outlusters many I have beheld, I could not but believe she excelled many. But I have not seen the most precious diamond that is, nor you, the lady.
I praised her as I rated her, so do I my stone.
What you esteem it at?
More than the world enjoys.
Either your unparagoned mistress is dead, or she's outprized by a trifle.
You are mistaken. The one may be sold or given. The other is not a thing for sale, and only a gift of the gods.
Which the gods have given you.
Which by their graces I will keep.
You may wear her in title, yours, but you know, strange fowl lights upon neighboring ponds. Your ring may be stolen too, a cunning thief, or a that way accomplished courtier would hazard the winning of both first and last.
Your Italy contains none to accomplish courtier to convince the honor of my mistress. I do nothing doubt you have store of thieves. Notwithstanding, I fear not my ring.
Let us leave here, gentlemen.
Sir, with all my heart, this worthy signor makes no stranger of me. We are familiar at first.
With 5 times so much conversation, I should get ground of your fair mistress and make her go back even to the yielding, had I ever the hints and opportunity to friend.
No, no, gentlemen, enough of this. It came in too suddenly. Let it die as it was born, and I pray you, be better acquainted.
I will lay you 10,000 ducats to your ring, that, commanding the court where your lady is, with no more advantage than an opportunity of a second conference, and I will bring from thence that honor of hers which you imagine so reserved.
I will wait against your gold. Gold to it. My ring, I hold as dear as my finger, 'tis part of it.
You are afraid, and therein the wise.
I shall but lend my diamond to your return. Let us have covenants drawn between. My mistress exceeds in goodness the hugeness of your unworthy thinking. I dare you to this match. Here is my ring. I will have it no less.
By the gods, it is one. If I should bring you no sufficient testimony that I have enjoyed the dearest bodily part of your mistress, my 10,000 ducats are yours, so your ring too. If I come off and leave her in such honor as you have trust in, she your jewel, this your jewel, my gold are yours, provided I have your commendation for my more free entertainment.
Oh, I embrace these conditions. Let us have articles betwixt us. Only thus far shall you answer. If you make your voyage upon her, and give to me directly to understand you have prevailed, I know further your enemy. She is not worth our fate. If she remain unseduced, you not making it appear otherwise, for your ill opinion and assault you have made of her chastity, you shall answer me with your sword.
Your hand, a covenant. You will have these things at down by lawful counsel, and straight away for Britain, lest the bargain should catch cold and starve.
Agreed.
Will this hold, think you?
Signor Giacomo will not go. Pray, let us follow.
Master, doctor, have you brought those drugs?
Please, your highness, I. Here they are, madam. But I beseech your grace, wherefore you command me those most poisonous compounds, which are the movers of a languishing death, but though slow, deadly.
I wonder, doctor, thou asked me such a question. Have I not been thy pupil long? Hast thou not learned me to make perfumes, distill, preserve, yea, so that our great king himself doth woo me oft for my confections? Having thus far proceeded, unless thou think'st me devilish, is't not meet that I did amplify my judgments and other conclusions? I will try the forces of these thy compounds on such creatures as we count not worth an egg, but not human, to try the vigor of them and apply a lameness to their act, and by them gather their several virtues and effects.
Your highness sharpen this practice, but make hard your heart. Besides, the seeing of these effects will be both noisome and infectious.
Oh, content thee. Here's a flattering rascal. Upon her will I first work. She's for her master, an enemy to my son. How now, Bassanio? Doctor, your service for this time is ended. Take your own way.
When you suspect, madam, that you will do no harm.
Hardly a word.
I do not like her. She'll think she has strange, lingering poisons. But I know her spirit, and will not trust one of her malice with a drug of such damned nature. Though she has will stupefy and dull the sense a while. But there is no harm in what show of death it makes to be more fresh, reviving. Oh, she is full with the most false effect, and I'm sure. So, to be false with her.
No further service, doctor, until I send for thee.
I humbly take my leave.
Weep's Imogen still, sayest thou? Dost thou think in time she will not quench and let instructions enter where folly now possesses? Do thou work. When thou shalt bring me word she loves my son, I'll tell thee on the instant thou art then as great as is thy master. Greater, for his fortunes all lie speechless, and his name is at the last gasp. Return he cannot, nor continue where he is. To shift his being is to exchange one misery with another. What shalt thou expect? we depend her on the thing that leans, who cannot be new built, nor has no friend so much as but to profit? Thou takest up, thou knowest not what, but take it for thy labor. It is a thing I made, which hath the king 5 times redeemed from death. I do not know what is more cordial. Nay, prithee, take it. It is an earnest of a further good that I mean to thee. Tell thy mistress how the case stands with her. Do it as from thyself. I'll move the king to any shape of thy preferment, such as thou desire, and then myself am bound to load thy merit richly. Call my witness. Think on my words. Sly and constant wench, not to be shaked, the agent for her master, and remembrancer of Imogen to hold the hand fast to her lord. I've given Bassanio that which, if she takes, shall quite unpeople Imogen of leisures for her sweet, and which Imogen after shall be assured to taste of too. Bassanio, fare thee well. Think on my words.
And shall do. But when to my good lord I prove untrue, I'll choke myself. There's all I'll do for you.
A father cruel and a stepdame false, a foolish suitor to a wedded lady that hath her husband banished. Had I been thief stolen as my 2 brothers, happy. Who may this be?
Madam, a noble gentleman of Rome comes from my lord with letters.
Change you, madam. The noble Leonatus is in safety and greets her highness dearly.
Thanks, good sir. You are kindly welcome. He is one of noblest note, on whose
Whose kindness I'm most infinitely tied. Reflect upon him accordingly, as you value your trust.
Leonatus. So far I read aloud. You are as welcome, worthy sir, as I have words to bid you, and you shall find it so in all that I can do.
Thanks, fairest lady.
What, dear sir, this perhaps you? Are you well?
Thanks, madam. Well, beseech you, ma'am, desire to my man's abode, right to leave him. He is strange and peevish.
I was going, sir, to bid him welcome.
Continues well, my lord. His health, beseech you.
Well, madam.
Is he disposed to mirth? I hope he is.
Exceeding pleasant. None a stranger there, so merry and so gamesome. He is called the Britain Reveller.
He was here. He did incline to sadness, and oftentimes not knowing why.
I never saw him sad. There is a Frenchman, his companion, one an eminent monsieur, who it seems much loves a galleon girl at home. He furnishes the thick sighs from him, whilst the jolly Briton, your lord I mean, laughs from his free lungs, cries, "Oh, can my sides hold to think that man who knows by history, report, or his own proof what woman is, yea, what she cannot choose but must be?"
Will my lord say so?
Aye, madam. But yet, heaven's bounty towards him could be used more thankfully. In himself, 'tis much. In you, which I account is beyond all talents. Whilst I am bound to wonder, I am bound to pity, too.
What do you pity, sir?
2 creatures heartily.
Am I one, sir? You look on me. Why do you pity me?
That others do, I was about to say, enjoy your... But it is not of the gods of vengeance, not mine to speak on't.
You seem to know something of me. Pray you, discover to me what you both spur and stop.
Had I this cheek to bathe my lips upon, this hand whose every touch would force the feeler's soul to the oath of loyalty, this object which takes prisoner the wild motion of mine eye, fixing it only here, should I, Damned then, slaver with lips as common as the stairs that mount the Capitol, joined grips with hands, made hard with hourly falsehood as with labor, then by peeping it in an eye as base and unlustrous as the smoky light that's fed by stinking tallow.
My lord, I fear, has forgot Britain. Oh, let me hear no more.
Oh, dearest soul, your cause doth strike my heart with pity that doth make me sick. A lady so fair and fastened to an empery would make the greatest king double. Be revenged, for she that bore you were no queen.
Revenged? How should I be revenged? If this be true, how should I be revenged?
I dedicate myself to your sweet pleasure, more noble than that runagate to your bed, and will remain fast to your affection, still close as sure.
What? Oh, Bassanio!
Let me my service stand on your lips.
Away! Are you condemned by ears that have so long attended thee? If thou wert honorable, thou wouldst have told this tale for virtue, and not for such an end thou seekest, as base as strange. Thou wrongest a gentleman who is as far from thine report as thou from honor, and solicit here a lady that disdains thee and the devil alike. But oh, Bassanio, the king, my father, shall remain acquainted of thine assault. Bassanio!
Oh, happy Leonatus! I may say the credit that thy lady hath of thee deserves thy trust in thy most perfect goodness, her assured credit. Blessed live you long. I have spoke thus to know if your affiance were deeply rooted. Your lord, he is one the truest mannered, such a holy witch that he enchants whole societies into him. Half all men's hearts are his.
You make amends?
He stands amongst men like a descended god. He had the kind of honor sets about him more than mortal seeming. Be not angry, most mighty princess, that I have adventured to try your taking this false report. My love for him made me to fan you thus, but the gods made you, unlike all others, chaffless. Pray, your pardon?
All's well, sir. Take my power in the court for yours.
My humble thanks. I had almost forgot to entreat your grace in but a small request, and yet of moment, too, for it concerns your lord. Myself and other noble friends are partners in the business.
Pray, what is?
Some dozen Romans of us and your lord, the best feather of our wing, have mingled sums together to buy a present for the emperor, which I, the factor for the rest, have done in France. 'Tis plate of rare device, and jewels of rich and exquisite form, their values great. And I am something curious, being strange, to have them in safe stowage. Would it please you to take them in protection?
Willingly. Upon mine honor for their safety. Since my lord hath interest in them, I will keep them in my bedchamber.
They are in a trunk, attended by my men. I'll make bold to send them to you, but only for this night, for I must aboard tomorrow.
Oh, no, no.
Yes, madam, I beseech, or else short my word by lengthening my return. From Gallia I crossed the seas on purpose and on promise to see your grace.
I thank you for your pains, but not away tomorrow.
Yes, madam, I must. Therefore I shall beseech you, if it please you to greet your lord with writing, do this tonight. I have outstood my time, which is material to the tenor of our presence.
I will write. Send your trunk to me. It shall safe be kept and truly yielded you. You are very welcome.
That horse from Japanese must take me up for swearing, as if I borrowed mine oaths of him, it might not spit at my pleasure. When a gentleman is disposed to swear, it's not for any standers-by to curtail his oaths, huh?
No, my lord.
Horse and dog! I give him satisfaction. Would he were one of my rank.
To have smelt like a fool.
I'm not vexed at anything else in the earth. A pox on it! I'd rather not be so noble as I am. They dare not fight with me because of the queen, my mother. Every jack slave hath his belly full of fighting, while I must go up and down like a cock that nobody can match.
What sayest thou?
It is not fit your lordship should undertake every companion that you give offense to.
No, I know that, but it is fit that I should commit offense to my inferiors.
Aye, it is fit for your lordship only.
Why, so I say.
Did you hear of a stranger that's come to court tonight?
A stranger? Did I not know it?
He's a strange fellow himself and knows it not.
An Italian's come, and 'tis thought to be one of Leonatus's friends.
Leonatus? Banished rascal, why he's another. Whatsoever he be. Is it fit I were to look upon him? Is there no derogation in it?
You cannot derogate, my lord.
Not so easily, I think.
You are a fool, granted, therefore your issues, being foolish, do not derogate.
Come, I'll go see to this Italian. Come. Go!
We'll attend your lordship. That such a crafty devil as his mother should yield the world this ass!
A woman that bears all down with her brains, and this has not. 20 for his heart to leave 18.
Alas, poor princess, thou divine Imogen, what thou endurest.
Oh, who are more hateful than the foul expulsion is of thy dear husband?
Who's there? My woman Helen.
Greeting, madam.
Oh, what hour is it?
Almost midnight, madam.
Mine eyes are weak. To bed. Oh, take not away the taper. Leave it burning. And if thou canst awake by 4 o'clock, I pray thee call me. Oh, sleep has seized me wholly. To your protection I commend thee, God. Some fairies and tempters of the night guard me. Beseech thee.
The crickets sing. And man's old labor sense prepares itself by rest.
How gravely thou becomest thy bed, fresh lady, whiter than the sheets, that I might touch. But kiss, one kiss. Rubies on Paragon, how dearly they do it. 'Tis her breathing that perfumes the chamber thus. But my design, to note the chamber. I will write all down. Such and such pictures. There the window. Such the adornment of her bed. The arras. Figures, why, such and such. And the contents of the story. With some natural notes about her body, more than 10,000 meaner movables would testify to enrich my inventory. Oh, sleep, thou ape of death, lie dull upon her, be her sense but as a monument in a chapel lying. As slippery as the Gordian knot was hard. 'Tis mine. This will witness outwardly as strongly as the conscience does within to the maddening of her lord. On her left breast lies a mole, sink-spotted like the crimson drops at the bottom of a cowslip. Here's a voucher, stronger ever than law could make. This secret will force him to think I have picked the lock and tamed the treasure of her honor. No more. To what end? Why should I write this down? It's riveted, screwed to my memory. I have enough. To the trunk again, and shut the spring of it. I lodge in fear, though this, a heavenly angel, hell is here. 1, 2, 3, time!
Your lordship is the most patient man in loss, the coldest that ever turned a face.
It would make any man cold to lose.
But not every man patient after the noble temper of your lordship. You are most hot and furious when you win.
Winning will put any man into courage. If I could get this foolish Imogen, I should have gold enough. It's almost morning, is not?
Day, my lord.
I would this music were come. I've been advised to give her music of the mornings. They say it will penetrate. Come on, June! If you can penetrate her with your fingerings, so we'll try tongue too. First, a very after a wonderful sweet air, with rich and admirable words to it. Then, let her consider.
Hark the lark at heaven's gate sings, and Phoebus skins arise. His steeds do wander at on jealous flowers that lie, and waking merry buds they yell to their golden eyes, with everything that pretty is. My lady sweet, arise, arise, my lady sweet, arise.
So, get you gone. If this do penetrate, I will consider your music the better. If not, it is a vice in her ears, which horse hairs and calves, that's nor the voice of unpaid eunuchs to boot could never amend. Here comes the king. Oh, I'm glad I was up so late. Of course, the reason I was up so early, he cannot choose but to make this service I have done fatherly. Good morrow, your majesty, and my gracious mother. Mwah, mwah,
Attend you here the door of our stern daughter? Was she not forth?
I have assailed her with music. She vouches of no notice.
The exile of her minion is too new. More time is where the print of his remembrance out. And then she's yours.
You are most bound to the king who lets go by no advantages which may prefer you to his daughter. Frame yourself to orderly soliciting. Befriend it with aptness of the season. Make denials increase your services, so seem as though you were inspired to do those duties which you tender to her, that you can all obey her. See what commend to your dismission tends and therein do I
Senseless not so.
So like you, sir, ambassadors from Rome, the one is Caius Lucius.
Worthy fellow, albeit he comes on angry purpose now.
Our dear son, we have given good morning to your mistress. Attend the queen and us. Come, our queen.
If she be awake, I'll speak with her. If not, let her lie still and dream. By your leave, ho! I know her when they're about her. What if I do line one of their hands? For 'tis gold which buys admittance, oft it doth. Can it not do and undo? I will make one of her women lawyer to me, for I not yet understand the case myself. By your leave! Oh,
Who's there that knocks?
a gentleman.
No more?
Yes, and a gentlewoman's son.
Well, that's more than some, whose tailors are as dear as yours can justly boast of. What's your lordship's pleasure?
Your lady's person. Is she ready?
Aye, take you for chamber.
There is gold for you. Sell me your good report.
How? My good name? What's the report of you what I shall think is good?
Good morrow, fairest. Sister, your sweet hand.
Good morrow, sir. You lay out too much pains for purchasing but trouble. The thanks I give you is telling you that I am poor of thanks and scarce can spare them.
Still, I swear, I love you.
So, 'twere as deep with me. If you swear still, your recompense is still that I regard not.
This is no answer.
But that you shall not say I yield being silent. I would not speak. Pray you, spare me.
Thank you, your madness toward my sin.
If you'll be patient, I'll no more be mad. That cures us both. I am sorry, sir. That put me to forget a lady's manners by being so verbal. And learn now, for all, that I, which know my heart, do here pronounce by the very truth of it, I care not for you. And if so near the lack of charity to accuse myself, I hate you.
You shameless obedience to which you owe your father. That contract you pretend with that base wretch. One bread of alms fostered of cold dishes, scraps of the court, is no contract none. A hillwing for a livery, a squatter's cloth, a pantler not so eminent.
Profane fellow, wert thou the son of Jupiter and no more but what thou art besides? Thou art too base to be his groom.
South bar rotten.
He can no more mischance than come to be but named of thee. His meanest garment that ever have clipped his body is dearer in my respect than thee, Bassanio.
His meanest garment!
To hell and that woman hide thee presently.
His garment!
I'm sprited with a fool, frightened and angered worse. Go bid my woman search for a jewel that too happily hath left mine arm. 'Twas thy master's. I do think I saw it this morning. Confident I am, last night 'twas on my arm, I kissed it. I hope it not be gone to tell my lord I kissed off the he.
'Twill not be lost.
I hope so, go and search.
You have abused me! His meanest garment?
I say so, sir.
I'll inform your father!
Your mother, too. She's my good lady and will conceive, I hope, but the worst of me. So, I leave you, sir, in the worst of discontent.
I will be revenged. His meanness
means do you make to him? Quake in the present winter state, and wish that warmer days would come. By this your king hath heard of great Augustus, and I think he'll grant the tribute. Send the arrearages, or look upon our Romans. I do believe that this will prove a war.
And you shall hear he legions now in Gallia, sooner landed and are not here in Britain, than have tidings of any penny tribute paid.
Giacomo, welcome, sir.
I hope the briefness of your answer made the speediness of your return.
Your lady is one of the fairest I have looked upon.
And therewithal the best.
Here are letters for you.
Their tenor good, I trust.
'Tis very like.
Was Caius Lucius in the Britain court when you were there?
He was expected then, but not approached.
All is well yet. Sparkles this stone as it was wont, or is it not too dull for your good wearing?
If I had lost it, I would have lost the worth of it in gold. I'll make a journey twice as far to enjoy a second night of such sweet shortness as was mine in Britain, for the ring is won.
The stone's too hard to come by.
Not await your lady being so easy.
Make it not, sir, your loss, your sport. If you can make it apparent you have tasted her in bed, my hand and ring is yours. If not, the foul opinion you had of her pure honor gains or loses your sword or mine, or masterless leaves them both to who shall find them.
First, her bedchamber, where I confess I slept not, but profess had that was well worth watching. It was hanged with tapestry of silk and silver, the story, proud of Cleopatra when she met her Roman, so bravely done, so rich that it did strive in workmanship and value, which I wonder to be so rarely and exactly wrought since the true life on.
This is a thing that she might have heard here by me or by some other.
More particulars must justify my knowledge.
So they must or do your honor injury.
The chimney is south of the chamber, and the chimney piece chaste Diane bathing.
This is a thing which you might from relation likewise reap, being as it is much spoke of.
The roof of the chamber with golden cherubims is fretted. Her andirons, I forgot them, were two winking cupids of silver, each on 1 foot standing, nicely depending on their brands.
Is her honor! Let it be granted you have seen all this. The description of her chamber, nothing saves the wager you have laid.
Then, if you can, be pale. I beg but leave to air this jewel, see? And now 'tis up again, it must be married to that your diamond, I'll keep them.
Once more let me hold. Is it that which I left with her?
Sir, I thank her that. She's stripped from her arm, I see her yet. Her pretty action did outsell the gift, and yet enriched it too. She gave it me and said she prized it once.
Maybe she plucked it off to send to me.
She writes so to you, doth she?
No, 'tis true!
Have patience, sir, and take your ring again. 'Tis not yet won. It is probable she lost it, or who knows if one of her women, being corrupted, hath stolen it from her.
Very true, and so I hope he came by it. Back of my ring! Render to me some corporal sign of voucher more apparent than this, where this was stolen.
By Jupiter, I had it from her arm.
Mark you, he swears by Jupiter, he swears.
This is not strong enough to be believed.
If you seek for further satisfying, under her breast, worthy depressing, lies a mole, right proud of its most delicate lodging. By my life, I kissed it, and it did give me present hunger to feed again, though full. You do remember this stain upon her?
It doth confirm another stain as big as hell!
Will you hear me?
Oh, spare your arithmetic! Never count the terms once in a million!
I'll be sworn.
No swearing! If you'll swear you have not done it, you lie, and I will kill thee, and thou dost deny thou'st made me cuckold.
I'll deny nothing.
That I had her here to tear her limb. Oh, I'll go there and do it. But before her father, I'll do something!
Quite besides the government of patience, you have won.
Vengeance! Oh, vengeance! Me! Of my lawful pleasure she was strained and prayed me not forbearance. Oh, Oh, the devil's this yellow Giacomo. In an hour, was not, or less at first. Perchance he spoke not, but like a full acorn bore, a determined one cried, "Oh!" and mounted. Who found no opposition, but what he looked for should have opened, she should from encounter barred. Did I find out the woman's part in me? For there's no motion that tends to vice in man. But I do affirm, it is the woman's part. Be it lying, note this, a woman's. Flattering hers, deceiving hers, lust and rank thoughts, hers, why? Disdain, covetings, ambition, change of prides, nice longing, slanders, mutability, all faults that can be named, nay, that hell knows, why hers in part are all. Curse them! 'Tis greater skill in true hate to pray they have their wills. The very devil cannot plague them better.
Now say, Caius, what would Augustus Caesar with us?
When Julius Caesar, whose remembrance yet lives in men's eyes, was in this Britain and conquered it, thy uncle granted Rome yearly 3,000 pounds, which by thee lately is left untender.
And to kill the marvel shall be so ever.
There be many Caesars, ere such another Julius. Britain is a world by itself. We will nothing pay for wearing our own noses.
That opportunity which then they had to take from us, to resume, we have again. Remember, sir, my liege, the kings, your ancestors. A kind of conquest Caesar made here, but made not here his brag of came and saw and overcame. With shame, that first that ever touched him, he was carried from off our coast, twice beaten, and his shipping, poor ignorant baubles upon our terrible seas like eggshells moved upon their surges, cracked as easily against our rocks.
Come, there is no more tribute to be paid. Our kingdom is stronger than it was at the time, and as I have said, there be no more such Caesars. Others may have crooked noses, but to bear such straight arms, none!
Son, let your mother end.
To resume.
Why tribute? Why pay tribute? If Caesar can hide the sun under a blanket, or put the moon in his pocket, he'll pay tribute for light. Else, sir, no more tribute. Pray you now!
You must know, till the injurious Romans did extort this tribute from us, we were free. Caesar's ambition did put the yoke upon us, which to shake off becomes a warlike people whom we reckon ourselves to be.
We do.
Say then to Caesar, our ancestor was that Malchus which ordained our laws, whose use the sword of Caesar hath too much mangled, whose repair and franchise shall by the power we hold be our good deed, though Rome be therefore angry.
I am sorry, Cymbeline, that I am to pronounce Augustus Caesar thine enemy. War and confusion in Caesar's name pronounce I against thee. Look for fury not to be resisted.
Caius, thy Caesar knighted me. My youth I spent much under him. Of him I gathered honor, which he to seek of me again perforce behooves me to keep at utterance.
sent her by her own command, shall give thee opportunity.
Oh, damned paper! Black is the ink that's on me! Lo, she comes! I am ignorant of what I am commanded.
How now, Bassanio?
My noble mistress, here is a letter from my lord.
Who thy lord, my lord Leonatus? Oh, you good gods, let what is here contain a relish of love. Justice and your father's wrath.
Should he take me in his dominion, cannot be so cruel to me as you. Oh, the dearest of creatures, would even renew me with her eyes. Take notice that I am in Cambria, at Milford Haven follow. So he wishes you all happiness, that remains loyal to his vow and yours, increasing in love.
Oh, Leonatus Posthumus. Oh, they're all horse with wings. Here's that Bassanio? He's at Milford Haven. Read and tell how far 'tis thither. And what of mean affairs may plotted in a week, why may not I glide thither in a day? Then, true Bassanio, it longs like me to see thy lord, yet longs, but in fainter kind. Oh, not like mine's beyond. Say, how far is it to the same blessed Milford? But first of all, how may we steal from hence? And for the gap that we shall make the time from our hence going and our return excuse. But first, how get hence? I should excuse be born and ere begot. Fools talk of that hereafter. Pray thee speak. How many score of miles may we ride twixt an hour and an hour?
1 score. Twixt sun and sun, madam, is enough for you, and too much too.
Why, on that road to its execution, wench would never go as slow. But this is foolery. Go bid my woman feign sickness. Say she'll home to her father and provide me presently a riding suit.
Now ye best consider.
Do as I bid thee. There's no more to say. Accessible is none but Milford way. I see a man's life is a tedious one. I am tired myself, and for 2 nights together have made the ground my bed. Oh, I should be sick, but that my resolution helps me. Milford, when from a mountain top Bassanio showed thee, thou wast within a kin. 2 beggars told me I could not miss my way. Well, poor folks lie. I have afflictions on them when knowing 'tis a punishment or trial. Yes, no wonder when rich ones scarce tell true. And my dear Lord, thou art one of the false ones. Now I think on thee, my hunger's gone. But even before I was at point to sink for food. What is here? It's a path to it. 'Tis some savage hole where I best not call. I dare not call. No! If anything that's civil, speak. If savage, take on heed. No? No answer. Then I'll enter. Best draw my sword. If mine enemy but fear the sword like me, he'll scarcely look on it. For such a foe, good heavens!
You, Polydor, have proved best woodman and our master of the feast. Catchwalk and I will play the cook and servant. Our stomachs will make what's homely, safe.
I am thoroughly weary.
I am weak with toil, yet strong in appetite.
There is cold in the gear. We'll browse on that while what we have killed we cook.
Stay! Come not in. Mother leaves our victuals. I should think here were fairy.
What's the matter, sir?
By Jupiter, an angel, or if not, an earthly paragon. Behold the divineness, no elder than a boy.
Good masters, harm me not. Before I entered here, I called, and thought to have begged or bought what I took. I troth, I I have stolen not, nor would not, though I found gold screwed in the floor. Here's money for my meat. I would have left it on the board so soon as I made my meal and parted with prayers for the provider.
Money? You?
All gold and silver rather turned to dirt, as 'tis no better reckoned to those who worship dirty gods. I see you are angry. Oh, no, if you kill me for my fault, I would have died had I not made it.
What about?
To Milford Haven.
What is your name?
The Daily, sir. I have a kinsman who is bound to Italy. He's embarked at Milford.
Prithee, fair youth. Think us no churls, nor measure our good minds by this rude place we live in. Well encountered, 'tis almost night. You shall have better cheer ere you depart, and thanks to stay and eat it. Boys, bid him welcome.
Were you a woman, youth? I should whoop hard but be your groom. And I'm so fit for you as I buy.
I'll make it my comfort. He is a man. I'll love him as my brother. And such a welcome as I give to him after long absence, such is yours. Most welcome. Be sprightly, for you fall amongst friends. Amongst friends and brothers. Would it have been so, they've been my father's sons? He rings us from distress.
Oh, but I'm free.
Why would e'er it be? What pain it cost, what danger. God!
Our boys.
Great men that have a court no bigger than this cave could not outpeer these twine. Pardon me, gods. I'll change my sex to make companion with them, since Leonatus false.
It shall be so. Boys, we'll go dress our hunt. Fair youth, come in. This course is heavy with fasting. When we have supped, we'll mannerly demand thee of thy story. As far as thou wilt speak it.
Pray, draw near.
The night to the owl, the morn to the lark, let welcome. Thanks, sir, I pray. Draw near.
Where they should meet if Bassanio hath mapped it truly. How fit his garments serve me. Then why should his mistress, who is made by him who made the tailor, not be fit too? The rather, saving reverence for the word, for it is said that a woman's fitness comes by fits. And therein I must play the workman. It is not vainglory. I dare speak it to myself, for it is not vainglory for a man in his glass to confer in his own chamber. I mean, the lines of my body are as well drawn as his. No less young, more strong. Beyond him in the advantages of time, not below him in fortunes, above him in birth, alike conversant in general services, and more remarkable in individual oppositions. Yet this imperseverant thing loves him despite me. What mortality is! Posthumus! Thy head which now grows upon thy shoulders will within this hour be off, and thy mistress enforced, and thy garments cut to pieces before thy face, and when all is done, spur her home to her father, who may haply be a little angry for my so rough usage. My mother, having power over his testiness, shall turn all into my commendations. My horse is safely tied up. Now sword, and to a sore purpose. This is the very description of the reading place. Bassanio, that horse elect, dares not deceive me.
You are not well. Remain here in the cave. We'll come to you after hunting.
Brother, stay here. Are we not brothers? I am very sick.
Go you to hunting. I'll abide with him.
So sick I am not, yet
yet how much the quantity, the wages, much as I do love my father.
What? How?
If it be sin to say so, I don't be in my good brother's fault. I know not why I love this youth. And I've heard you say love's reasons without reason. The beer at door and a demand to us shall die. I say my father, not this youth.
I am not their father, yet who this should be doth miracle itself. Love before me. 'Tis the ninth hour of the morn.
Brother, farewell. I wish you sport, you health. So please you, sir. These are kind creatures. Gods, what lies I've heard. Our courtiers say all savage but at court. Experience, oh thou disprovest report. I am sick still, heart sick. Pisanio, now I'll taste of thy drug.
I could not stir him. He said he was gentle but unfortunate. Just honestly afflicted, but yet honest.
Thus did he answer me.
Yet said hereafter I might know more. To the field, to the field. We'll leave you for this time. Go in and rest.
Will not be long away.
Pray be not sick, for you must be our housewife.
Fellow ill, I am bound to you.
And shalt be ever. This youth, quiet distressed, and he is yet from ancestors.
How angel-like he sings.
But his neat cookery.
Oh.
He cut our roots and characters and sauced our broths as Juno had been sick and near died her.
Noble, he yokes, smiling with a sigh.
I do note that grief and patience rooted in them both mingle their spurs together.
It is great morning. Come away.
Oh, who's there? Oh, I cannot find those remedies. Pisanio hath deceived me. I am faint.
Those remedies, means he not us? I hardly know him. 'Tis Cloten, son of the queen. I fear some ambush. I saw him not this many years, and yet I know 'tis he. We are held as outlaws. Hence.
He's but one. You and my brother search for companies on here. Pray you away. Let me alone with you.
Stop! What are you that fly me thus? Some villain mountaineers. I have heard of such. What slave art thou?
They more slavish than I never than answering a slave without a knock.
Thou art robber, a lawbreaker, a villain. You be thief.
To who? To thee? What art thou? Have not I an arm as big as thine? A heart as big? Thy words, I grant, are bigger, for I wear not my dagger in my mouth. Say what thou art, why I should yield to thee.
Thou villain base, knowest me not by my clothes.
Ah, no. Nor thy tailor, rascal. Who is thy grandfather? He made those clothes, which as it seems made thee.
Thou precious varlet! My tailor made them not!
Ah, haste then and make the man that gave them thee. Ha! Thou art some fool. Ha! I loathe to be.
Thou injurious thief! Hear but my name and tremble!
What's thy name?
Glutton, thou villain!
Thou double villain! I cannot or move me sooner.
Further thy fear, nay, that in your confusion, thou shalt know I'm son to the queen.
I'm sorry for it. Not seeming so worthy as thy birth.
Art thou feared?
Those I reverence, those I fear the wise. The fools I laugh, not fear them.
Die the death! I have slain you with my proper hand. I will follow those that even now led hidden sin and on the gates of blood's tavern. Set your heads, you rustic mountaineer.
No companies abroad.
None in the world. You did mistake him.
I cannot tell, long as it since I saw him, but time has nothing blurred those lines of favor which then he wore, those snatches in his voice, in burst of speaking, Whereas his, I am absolute, 'twas very clotted.
In this place we left them. I wish my brother make the time with him. You say he is so fell.
But see thy brother.
This Cloten was a fool. An empty purse, there was no money in it. Not Hercules could have knocked out his brains, for he had none. Yet I'm not doing this. The fool has blown my head as I do his.
Well done.
I am perfect what? Cut off one Cloten's head. Son to the queen after his own court, who called me traitor, mountaineer, and swore with his own single hand he'd take us in, displace our heads within the gods they grow, and set them on nuts down.
We are all undone.
Why, worthy father? What have we to lose but that he swore to take? Our lives? The law protect not us. Then why should we be tender to let an arrogant piece of flesh threat us? Play judge and executioner all himself? For we do fear the law. What company discover you abroad?
No single soul can we set eye on, but in all safe reason he must have some attendance. My frenzy, the absolute madness could have so far as raved to bring him here alone. Although, perhaps, it may be heard in court that such as we came here are outlaws, the which he hearing, as it is like him, may break out and swear he'd fetch us in. But it's not probable to come alone. Then on good ground we fear, if we do fear, this body hath a tail more perilous than the head.
Let ordinance come as the gods forbid. Howsoever, my brother hath done well.
With his own sword, which he did wave against my throat, I've taken his head from him. I'll throw it into the creek behind our rock, and let it to sea, and tell the fishes he's a queen's son. Cloten! That's all I reck.
I fear 'twill be revenged. Good Polydor, thou hadst not done it, so valor becomes thee well enough.
Would I had done it so the revenge alone pursued me. Polydor, I love thee brotherly, and much thou hast robbed me of this deed.
Well, 'tis done. We'll hunt no more today, nor seek for danger where there's no profit. Prithee, to our rock, even for day lately the cooks. I'll stay till hasty Polydor return, and bring him to dinner presently.
Poor sick Fidele, I'll willingly to him.
O thou goddess, thou divine nature, how thyself thou blazonest in these two princely boys. They are as gentle as Zephyr blowing below the violet, not wagging his sweet head, and yet as rough their royal blood and chaste as the rudest wind.
I have sent Cloten's clock Paul downstream in embassy to his mother, his body's hostage for his return.
My ingenious instrument. Hark, Polydor it sounds, but what occasion hath Cadwal now to give it motion?
Is he at home?
He went hence even now.
What does he mean? All solemn things should answer solemn accidents. The matter is Cadwal mad.
Here he comes, and brings in his arms the dire occasion of what we blame him for.
The bird is dead, and we have made so much on.
Oh, sweetest, fairest lily, my brother wears thee not the one half so well as when thou grewest thyself.
Thou blessed thing, Job knows what man thou mightst have made, but I, thou diedst a most rare boy of melancholy. How found you him?
Stark, as you see, thus smiling as some fly-hid, tickled slumber not as death's dark, being laughed at, his bright cheek reposing on a cushion.
Where?
For the floor, his arms thus leaved. I thought he slept.
Why, he but sleeps. If he be gone, he will make his grave a bed. With female fairies will his tomb be haunted, and no worms will come to thee.
With fairest flowers while the summer lasts, and I live here for daily, I'll sweet him thy sad grave. Thou shalt not laugh flowerless like thy face.
Prithee, have done. Do not speak and winch-like words with that which is so serious. Let us bury him, and not protract with admiration that which is now to death.
And let us, Polydor, though now our voices have got the managed crack, sing him to the ground.
Great griefs, I see medicine for the less, for Cloten is quite forgot. He was a queen's son, boys, and though he came our enemy, remember, he was paid for that. Our foe was princely, and though you took his life as being our foe, yet buried him as a prince.
Pray, fetch him hither.
If you'll go fetch him, we'll sing our song the whilst. Brother, begin.
Fear no more the heat of the sun, nor the furious winter's rages. Thou thy worldly task hast done, home art gone and taken thy wages. Golden lads and girls all must, as chimney sweepers come to dust.
Fear no more the lightning flash, nor the dreaded thunderstone. Fear not slander, censure rash. Thou hast finished joy and moan. All lovers young, all lovers must. Consign to thee and come to dust.
No exercise or hobby,
Nor no witchcraft charm thee.
go some lake forbear thee.
Nothing ill come near thee.
Quiet
Consolation have, and renowned be thy grave.
We have done our obsequies.
Here are a few flowers, but not midnight more. The herbs that have the cold with the night on them are strewing spits for graves. Upon their faces, you were as flowers, now withered. Come on, away. The ground that gave them first now has them again. Their pleasures here are past, so is their pain.
Yes, sir, to Milford Haven, which is the way. I thank you. By yon bush? Pray, how far thither? Ah, it's Pittykins. Can't be 6 miles yet. I've gone all night. Faith, I'll lay down and sleep. But soft, no bedfellow. Ah! Oh, gods and goddesses! These flowers are like the pleasures of the world. This bloody man in Caron. I hope I dream, for so I thought I was the cave keeper and cook to honest creatures, but 'tis not so. I tremble stiff with fear. If there be yet left in heaven so small a drop of pity as in Wright's eye, fear God's a part of it. Huh. The dream is here still. Even when I wake it is, without me as within me, not imagined. Felt. The headless man. The garments of Posthumus. I know the shape of his leg, but his jovial face. Murder in heaven.
The Senate hath stirred out the confiners and gentlemen of Italy, most willing spirits that promise noble service, and they come under the conduct of bold Iachimo,
What expected?
with the next benefit of the wind.
This forwardness makes our hopes fair. Command our present numbers be mustered. Bid the captains look to it. Now, sir, what have you dreamed of late of this war's purpose?
Last night, the very gods showed me a vision. I fast and prayed for their intelligence. Thus, I saw Jove's bird, the Roman eagle, winged from the spongy south to this part of the west, there vanished in the sunbeams, which portends, unless my sins abuse my divination, success to the Roman host.
Dream often so, and never false. Soft, oh, what trunk is here without its tongue? The ruin speaks that sometime it was a worthy building. How, a page or dead or sleeping on him?
He's alive, my lord.
He'll then instruct us of this body. Young one, inform us of thy fortunes, for it seems they crave to be demanded. Who is this thou makest thy bloody pillow? What's thy interest in this sad wreck? How came it? Who is it? What art thou?
I am nothing, or if not nothing to be were better. This was my master, a very valiant Briton and a good that here by mountaineers lay slain. Alas, there can be no more such masters.
Alack, good youth, thou movest no less with thy complaining than thy master indeed. Say your name, good friend.
Adele, sir.
Thou dost approve thyself the very same. Thy name well fits thy faith. Thy faith, thy name. Wilt take thy chance with me? I will not say thou shalt be so well mastered. Go with me.
I'll follow, sir. But first, and to please the gods, I'll hide my master from the flies. And when the wild wood leaves and weeds and strewn his grave and set upon it a century of prayers such as I can twice over, I'll weep and sigh, and leaving so his servants follow you, so please you entertain me.
I, good youth, and rather fatherly than masterly. My friends, the boy hath taught us manly duties. Let us find out the prettiest daisy plot we can, and make him with our pikes and partisans a brave. Boy, he is preferred by thee to us, and shall be interred as soldiers can. Be cheerful, wipe thine eyes, some falls are means the happier to arise.
Again, and bring me word how 'tis with her. Fever with the absence of her son, a madness of which her life's in danger. Heavens, how deeply at once you do touch me.
Imogen, the great part of my comfort gone. My queen upon a desperate bed,
And in a time when fearful wars point at me, her son gone, so needful for this present.
oh, it strikes me as the hope of comfort.
But for thee, dear lady, whose needs must know of her departure, and does seem so ignorant, will enforce it from me by a sharp torture.
Sir, my life is yours. I humbly set it at your will. But for my mistress, I nothing know where she remains, why gone, or when she purposes return. Beseech your highness, hold me your loyal servant. Good my liege, the day that Imogen was missing, she was here. I dare be bound she's true, and shall perform all parts of her subjection loyally. For Glutton, there wants no diligence in seeking him, and will no doubt be found.
The time is troublesome. We'll slip you for a season, but our jealousy does yet depend.
So please your majesty, the Roman legions, all from Galloway drawn, are landed on your coast, with a supply of Roman gentlemen from the Senate sent.
Amazed with matter!
Good my liege, the want is but to put those powers in motion that long to move.
I thank you. Let's withdraw and meet the time as it seeks us. We fear not what from Italy can annoy us, but grieve at chances here, away.
I heard no letter from my master since I wrote him Imogen was slain. 'Tis strange, nor hear I whores shall find I love my country, even to the note of the king, or I'll fall in them. All other doubts, by time let them be cleared. Fortune brings in some boats that are not steered.
Noise is round about us.
Let us from it.
What pleasure, sir, find we in life to lock it from action and adventure.
Nay, what hopeth we in hiding us? This way the Britons must, or for Romans slay us, or receive us for barbarous and unnatural, steer their use and slay us after.
Sons, we'll higher to the mountains. There secure us. To the king's party there is no going. Newness of Clausen's death. We be not known, not mustered among the bands, may drive us to a render where we have lived, and so extort from us that which we have done, whose answer would be death, drawn on with torture.
This is, sir, a doubt. In such a time, nothing becoming you, nor satisfying us.
It is not likely that when they hear the Roman horses neigh, that they will waste their time upon our note to know from whence we are.
Oh, I am known of many in the army many years, though plotting then but young, you see not war in my remembrance. Besides, the king hath not deserved my service nor your love.
Pray, sir, to the army. I and my brother are not known. Yourself so outfought, and their major road cannot be questioned.
By the sun that shines, all thither. What thing is that I never did see man die? I scarce ever looked on blood that of coward hares, hot goats, and venison. Never withstood a horse. I am ashamed to look upon the holy sun, to have the benefit of his blessed beams remaining so long a poor unknown.
By heavens, I'll go. If you will bless me, sir, and give me leave, I'll take the better care. But if you will not, the hazard therefore befall on me by the hands of Romans.
So say I. Amen.
No reason I, since of your lives you set so slight a valuation, should reserve my craft to more care. Have with you, boys, if in your country wars you chance to die. This is my bed too, lads. There I'll lie. Lead, lead! The time is long. Their blood they scorn, till it fly out and show them princes born.
Dear bloody cloth, I'll keep thee, for I wish thou shouldst be colored thus. Oh, you married ones, if each of you should take this course, how many must murder wives much better than themselves for riding but a little? Oh, Pisanio, every good servant does not all commands, no bonds to do just ones. So had you taken vengeance on my faults, I never had lived to put on this. So had you saved the noble image into repentance, struck me, wretch more worthy of vengeance. But alack, so Imogen is your own. Do your best wills and make me blessed to obey. I am brought hither among the Italian gentry to fight against my lady's kingdom. It is enough then. Kill her lady, peace. Oh, I'll give no boon to thee. Oh, I'll disrobe me of these Italian weeds and suit me as does a Briton peasant. So I'll fight against the part I came with. Oh, so I'll die for thee, oh Imogen, even for whom my life is every breath of death, and thus pitied nor hated. To the face of peril myself I'll dedicate. Let me make men no more valor in me than my habits show. To shame the geistful world, I will begin the fashion. Less without, and more within.
and guilt within my bosom takes off my manhood. I have belied a lady, the princess of this country, and the air when it revengingly enfeebles me. Or could this churl, the very drudge of nature's have subdued me in my profession? Knighthoods and honors born as I were mine are titles but of scorn. If that thy gentry, written go before this loud as he exceeds our lords, the odds is that we scarce are men, and you are gods.
Such as war or hoodwinks is their first supplies. It is a day turned strangely. For betimes, let's reinforce or fly.
First killed him, his body on the ground, and my speech of insultment ended upon his dead body. Oh, and when my lust hath dined, that is to say, to vex her, executed, and the clothes she so richly praised, to court not her back again, and to put her home, she hath despised me,
fled our Britons, hearts died fighting, not our men. To darkness fleet souls that fly backward, stand. Oh, these three with those words, stand, stand! With their own nobleness, gilded pale, looks gan to look like lions upon the pikes of hunters. Then began to stalk the chaser. Retire anon, confusion thick, forthwith they fly.
This was a strange chance. A narrow lane, an old man, and two boys.
Nay, do not wonder at it. You are made rather to wonder at the things you hear than to work any. I show you rhyme upon it, invent it for a mockery. Well, here's one. Two boys, an old man, twice a boy, a lane. Preserve the Romans was the Romans' bane.
Nay, be not angry, sir.
To what end? Who dares not stand his foe, I'll be his friend. For if he'll do what he's made to do, I know he'll quickly fly my friendship too. You have put me into rhyme.
Farewell. You are angry.
Oh, still going! This is a lord? Oh, noble misery! Today, how many would have given their honors to have saved their carcasses, took heel to do it, and yet died too? I, in my own woe charmed, could not find death where I did hear him groan, nor feel him where he struck. Well, I will find him. No more, Britain. I resumed again the part I came in. Fight I will no more, but yield me to the various hinds that shall once touch my shoulder. Oh, great the slaughter is made here by the Romans. Great the answer be Britons must take.
Great Jupiter be praised! Lucius is taken. 'Tis thought he and his sons were angels.
There was a fourth man in a silly habit who gave them consequence.
So 'tis reporting, but none of them can be found. Stand, who's there?
A Roman, lay hands on him. No! A leg of robe shall not return to tell what crows have kept him here. He boasts of his service as if he were of note.
You have locks on you. You shall not now be stolen. So graze as you find pasture.
Eye or a stomach.
Most welcome bondage. My conscience, thou art fettered more than my shanks and wrists. Gods, for Imogen's dear life, take mine, and though 'tis not so dear, 'tis a life. And so if you will take this lot, take this life, and cancel these cold bonds. Oh, Imogen, I'll speak to thee in silence.
thunder master show thy spite on mortal flies. With Mars fall out, with Juno chide, hath not my poor boy done aught but well, whose face I never saw? I died whilst in the womb he stayed, attending nature's law.
Lucina lent me not her aid, but took me in my throes, that from me was posthumous ripped, came crying mongst his foes, a thing of pity.
When once he was mature of man, in Britain where was he, that could stand up his parallel, or fruitful object be, in eye of image, and that best could deem his dignity?
In marriage, wherefore was he mocked, to be exiled and thrown from Leonato's seat, and cast from her his dearest one, sweet Imogen?
Why did you suffer Jacopo, slight thing of Italy, to taint his nobler heart and brain with needless jealousy, and to become the geck and scorn of others' villainy?
For those from stiller seats we came, our parents and us twain, that striking in our country's cause fell bravely and were slain.
Like Cardamint hath Posthumus to Cymbeline performed, then Jupiter, thou king of the gods, why hast thou thus adjourned the graces to which his merits due, being all to dolors turned?
Since Jupiter our son is good, take off his miseries.
Heap through thy marble mansion, help, or we poor ghosts will cry against thy deity.
No more, you petty spirits of region low, offend our hearing. Hush! How dare you ghosts accuse the thunderer, whose bolt you know sky planted batters all rebelling coast? Whom best I love, I cross, to make my gifts the more delayed, delighted. Be content. Your low-laid son, our Godhead will uplift. His comforts thrive, his trials well are spent. This tablet lay upon his breast, wherein our pleasure his full fortune doth confine. So away, and no further with your daily express impatience, lest you stir up mine.
Grandsire begot a father to me, and yet created a mother and two brothers. God. They went hence as soon as they were born, and so now I am awake. What fairies haunt this ground? A book? When, as a lion's whelp shall, to himself unknown, without seeking find, and be embraced by a piece of tender air, and when from a stately cedar shall be lopped branches, which, being dead many years, shall after revive, be jointed to the old stock and freshly grow, then shall Posthumus end his miseries, Britain be fortunate and flourish in peace and plenty. 'Tis still a dream, girl, such dumb as madmen, tongue and brain not.
Come, sir, are you ready for death?
Go for roasted rather ready long ago.
Hanging is the word, sir. If you be ready for that, you are well cooked. A heavy reckoning for you, sir, but the comfort is you shall be called to no more payments. Fear no more tavern bills, which are often the sadness of parting. As the procurer of mirth, you come in, flinch for want of meat, depart reeling with too much drink. like the first, to light being drawn of heaviness. Of this contradiction you shall now be quit. Ah, the charity of a penny cord. It sums up thousands in a trice.
I am merrier to die than thou art to live.
Indeed, sir, he that sleeps feels not the toothache, but a man that were to sleep your sleep, and a hangman to help him to bed. I think he would change places with his officer, for, look you, sir, you know not which way you shall go.
Yes, indeed do I, Helen.
Oh, your death has eyes in his head, then. I have not seen him so pictured. You must either be directed by some that take upon themselves to know, or do take upon yourself that which I am sure you do not know. And how you shall speed in your journey's end, I think you'll never return to tell one.
Bring your prisoner to the king.
Thus bring good news. I am called to be made free.
I'll be hanged then.
I shall be as freer than a jailer. No bolts for the dead.
Unless a man would marry a gallows and beget young gibbets, I never saw one so prone. Yet on my conscience there be verier knaves desire to live. There be some too that should die against their will. So should I if I were one. I would we were all of one mind, and one mind good. Ah, there were desolation of jailers and gallowses. I speak against my present prophet, but my wish hath a preferment in it.
Stand thou by my side, you whom the gods have made preservers of my throne. Woe is my heart, the poor soldier that so richly fought, whose rags shame gilded arms, whose naked breast stepped before lodges of roof cannot be found. He shall be happy that can find him, if our grace can make him so.
I never saw such noble fury in such poor thing.
No tidings of him?
He hath been searched among the dead and living, but no trace of him.
To my grief I need the heir of his reward, which I shall like to you, the liver, heart, and brain of Britain by whom I grant she lives. 'Tis now time to ask of whence you are. Report it.
Sir, in Cambria we are born, and gentlemen. Further to boast, we're neither true nor modest, unless I add, we are honest.
Bow your knees. Arise, my knights of the battle. I create you companions to our person, and will fit you with dignities becoming your estates. I have business in these faces. Why so sadly greet you our victory?
Oh, hail, great king! To sour your happiness, I must report the queen is dead.
How ended she?
With horror, madly died like her life, being cruel to the world, included most cruel to herself. But she confessed, I will report so please you. This her woman can trip me if I err, who with wet cheeks was present when she finished.
Prithee say.
First, she confessed.
I never loved you. Only affected greatness got by you, not you. Married your royalty, was wife to your place, abhorred your person.
She alone knew this, but she spoke it dying. I would not believe her lips in opening it. Proceed.
Your daughter, whom she bore in hands and love with such integrity, she did confess.
Possess a scorpion to my sight, whose life but then her flight prevented. I attain off my poison.
Oh, most delicate fiend! Who is to breed a woman? Is there more?
More, sir, and worse. She did confess
I
she
had for you a mortal mineral, which being took should feed on life and lingering by ages waste you. In which time I purposed by watching, weeping, tendance, kissing, to o'ercome you with my show. And when I had fitted you with my craft, to work my son into the adoption of the crown.
But failing of her end by his strange absence, grew shameless, desperate, opened in despite of heaven and men her purposes, repented the evil she hatched were not effected, so despairing died.
You do all this, her lady.
I did, so please your highness.
Mine eyes were not in fault, for she was beautiful. My ears that heard her flattery, nor my heart that thought her like her seeming. It had been vicious to have mistrusted her. Yet, oh, my daughter, that it was folly in me, thou mayest say, and prove it in thy feeling. Heaven mend all. Comes not Caius now to the tribute that the Britons have raised out, though with the loss of many a bold one, whose kin have made suit that their good souls may be appeased with slaughter of you their captives, which ourselves have granted. So think on thy estate.
This one thing only I will entreat, my boy. A Briton born, let him be ransomed. He hath done no Briton harm. Though he have served a Roman, save him, sir, and spare no blood beside.
I have surely seen him. His favor is familiar to me. Boy, thou hast looked thyself into my grace, and art mine own. I know not why, wherefore I say, live, boy. Ne'er thank thy master. Live, and ask of Cymbeline what boon thou wilt. And fitting my bounty in thy state, I'll grant it. Yea, though thou do demand a prisoner, the noblest ta'en.
I humbly thank your highness.
I did not bid thee beg my life, good lad, yet I know thou wilt.
No, no, alack. There's other work at hand. I see a thing better to me as death. Your life, good master, must suffer for itself.
The boy disdains me, leaves me, scorns me. Why stands he so perplexed?
What wouldst thou, boy? I love thee more and more. Think more and more what's best to ask. Knowest him thou look'st on? Speak, wilt have him live? Is he thy kin, thy friend?
He is a Roman, no more kin to me than I to your highness, who, being born of your vassal, am something nearer.
Wherefore eyest him so?
I'll tell you, sir, in private, if you please to give me a hearing.
Aye, with all my heart, and lend my best attention. What's thy name?
Fidele, sir.
Thou art my good youth. My page, I'll be thy master. Walk with me, speak freely.
Is not this boy revived from death?
One and another not more resembles that sweet, rosy lad who died and was Fidele. What think you?
The same dead thing alive. Peace, speak further. He eyes us not, for bare creatures may be alike. Were he, I'm sure he would have spoke to us.
But we saw him dead.
Be silent, let's see further.
It is my mistress! Oh, since she is living, let time run on, to good or bad.
Come, stand thou by our side, and make thy demand aloud. Sir, step you forth. Give answer to this boy. On, speak to him.
My boon is that this gentleman may render of whom he had this ring.
What's that to him?
That diamond on your finger, say how came it yours?
Thou'lt torture me to leave unspoken that which to be spoke would torture thee.
How, me?
I am glad to be constrained out of that which torments me to conceal. By villainy I got this ring, 'twas Leonatus' jewel, whom thou didst banish, and which more may grieve thee, as it doth me, a nobler sir than lived twixt sky and ground. Wilt thou hear more, my lord?
All that belongs to this.
That paragon, thy daughter, for whom my heart drops blood and my full spirits quail to remember. Give me leave, I faint.
But my daughter, what of her? Strive, man, and speak!
Upon a time it was in Rome, 'twas at a feast, the good Posthumus sadly hearing us praise our loves of Italy.
Thy stand on fire, come to the matter.
All too soon I shall, unless thou wouldst grieve quickly. This good Posthumus, most like a noble lord in love, began his mistress's picture.
Nay, to the purpose.
Your daughter's chastity, there it begins. He spake of her as Diane had hot dreams, and she alone were cold. Where I died, wretch, made scruple of his praise, and wagered with him pieces of gold against this which then he wore upon his honored finger, to attain in suits the place of sped, and win this ring by hers and mine adultery. He, true knight, no lesser confident for honor than I did truly find her, stakes this ring, away to Britain post I in this design. Well may you, sir, remember me at court, where I was taught of your chaste daughter the wide difference twixt amorous and villainous. Being thus quenched of hope, not longing, mine Italian brain began in your duller Britain operate most violent. My practice so prevailed, I returned with similar proof enough to make the noble Leonatus mad, by wounding his belief in her renown with tokens thus and thus, averting notes of chamber hangings, pictures, this her bracelet. Oh, cunning how I got it. Nay, some marks of secret on her person, that he could not but believe her bond of chastity quite cracked, I having ta'en the forfeit, whereupon methinks I see him now.
So thou dost tell me! I be most credulous fool, egregious murderer, I am Posthumus that killed thy daughter. Villain like I lied that caused a lesser villain than myself, a sacrilegious thief to do it. Oh, the temple of virtue is she, yea, and she herself, who spit and throw stones, cast mire upon me, set the dogs in the street to bay me, let every villain be called posthumously and not and be less villainy than 'twas. Oh, Imogen, my queen, my life, my wife, oh, Imogen, Imogen!
Please, my lord, here!
Oh, thou scornful thing!
No! Gentlemen, help! Mine and your mistress! Oh, my lord Posthumus, you ne'er killed Imogen, and so loud! Oh, help! Help! Oh, mine honored lady!
God, strike me to death with mortal joy!
How fares my mistress?
Oh, get thee from my sight! Thou givest me poison! Dangerous madam, hence! Breathe not where princes are!
The tomb of Imogen!
Leave the gods throw stones of sulfur on me. If that box I gave you was not thought to find me a precious thing, I had it from the queen.
You matter still!
You poisoned me!
Oh God!
I left out one thing which the queen confessed, which must approve the honest. If Bassanio had, said she, given his mistress that confession I gave her before to, she is served as I would serve a
What's this, Cornelius?
The queen, sir, very often importuned me to temper poisons for her, still pretending in the satisfaction of her knowledge and only killing creatures vile, such as cats and dogs of no esteem. I, dreading that her purpose was of more danger, did compound for her a certain stuff, which being taken would cease the present power of life. In due time, all office of nature should again do their due function. Have you taken of it?
Most like I did, for I was dead.
My boys, there was our error.
This is surely
Why did you throw your wedded lady from you? Think now we are on rock and throw me again.
hang me like a fruit my soul till the tree died. How now, my flesh, my child? What makes me a dullard in this act? Will thou not speak to me?
Your blessing, sir.
Brew holy water on me. O Imogen, thy mother's dead.
I am sorry for it, my lord.
Oh, she was not. And long before it was that we meet here so strangely. But her son is gone. We know not how nor where.
Now, my lord, fear is from me. I'll speak troth. Lord Clopton, upon my lady's missing, came to me with his sword drawn, foamed at the mouth, and swore if I discovered not which way she went, it was my instant death. By accident had a feigned letter of my master's then in my pocket, which directed him to seek her on the mountains near to Milford, where, in a frenzy in my master's garments, which he enforced from me, away he post with unchaste purpose and oath to violate my lady's honor. What became of him, I further know not.
Let me end the story. I slew him there. I would not thy good deeds from my mouth pluck a bad sentence. Prithee, valiant youth, deny it again. I spoke it and I did it. He was a prince, a most incivil one. The wrongs he did unto me were nothing prince-like, for he did provoke me with language that could make me spurn the sea if he could so roar to me. I cut off his head. And I'm right glad he is not standing here to tell this tale of mine. I am sorry for thee, but by thine own tongue thou art condemned and must endure our law. Thou art dead.
That headless man I thought had been my lord.
Find the offender, take him from our presence.
Stay, Sir King. This man is better than the man he slew, as well descended as thyself, and hath more are thee merited and a bander plots had ever scarred for, let his arms alone. They were not born for bondage.
Our descent as good as we,
In that he spake too far.
and thou shalt die for
We
it.
will die all three, but that I will prove the two are as good as I have given out them. My sons, I must for my own part unfold a dangerous speech, though happily well for you.
Your danger's ours.
And our good his.
Have at it then, by thee. Thou hadst, great king, a subject who was called Valerius.
What of him? He was a banished traitor.
He it is that hath assumed this age. Indeed, a banished man, I know not how a traitor.
Take him hence! The whole world shall not save
Not
him!
too hot! First, pay me for the nursing of thy sons.
Nursing of my sons!
Mighty sir, these two young gentlemen that call me father and think they are my sons are none of mine. They are the issue of your lord, mighty sir, and blood of your begetting.
How of my issue?
So sure as your fathers, I am that Valerius whom you sometime banished. These gentle princes, for such and so they are, this 20 years have I trained up. Beaten for loyalty, excited me to treason. Their dear loss, the more of youth was felt, the more it shaped them to my end in stealing them. But, gracious sir, here are your sons again, and I must lose two of the sweetest companions in the world.
The service that you three have done is most unlike than this thou tell'st. I lost my children. If these be they, I know not how to wish for a pair of worthier sons. O Imogen, by this thou hast lost the kingdom.
No, my lord, I've got 2 worlds by it. Oh, my gentle brothers, have we thus met? Never say hereafter, but I am truest speaker. Thou called me brother, when I was but your sister. I brothers with you were so indeed.
Did ere you meet,
Aye, my good lord.
And at first being loved, continued so until we thought he died.
By the queen's dread she swallowed.
Oh, rare instinct. When shall I hear all through? And now time nor place will serve along interrogatories. See, Posthumus, how he anchors upon Imogen, and she like harmless lightning throws her eye on him, her brother, me, her master, hitting each object with a joy.
Let's quit this ground and smoke the temple with our sacrifices.
Yeah. Thou art my brother, so will hold thee ever.
Thou art my father too, and did relieve me to see this gracious season.
All are joyed, save those in bonds. Let them be joyful too.
My good master, I will yet do your service.
Happy be you. The poor soldier that so richly fought. He would well become this place and grace the thankings of a king.
I am, sir, the soldier that fought and accompanied these three in poor beseeming. Smith for the purpose I then followed. That I was he, Giacomo. Speak. I had you down and might have made you finish.
I am down again, though now my heavy conscience sinks my knee as then your force did. Take that life, beseech you, which so often that I owe, but first your ring. And here, the bracelet of the truest lady that ever swore her faith.
Kneel not to me. The power I have on you is to save you. The malice force you to forgive you. Live, and deal with others better.
Nobly do. We learn our freedom from the son-in-law.
Pardon's the word to all.
Good my lord of Rome, call forth your soothsayer. Methought as I slept, great Jupiter upon his eagle back appeared to me with others rightfully shows of mine own kindred. When I waked, I found this label upon my bosom, whose containing is so from sense and hardness I can make no collection of it. Let her show her skill in instruction.
Philharmonis,
Here, my good lord.
read and declare the meaning.
When as a lion dwells shall, to himself unknown, without seeking find, and be embraced by a piece of tender air, and when from a stately cedar shall be lopped branches, which, being dead many years, shall after revive, be jointed to the old stock, and freshly grow, then shall Posthumus end
doth import so much. Oh, the piece of tender air, thy virtuous daughter, this most constant wife, who, even now, answering the letter of the oracle, unknown to you, unsought, were clipped about by this most tender air. The lofty cedar, royal Cymbeline, personates thee, and like locked branches point thy two sons forth, who, by Valeria stolen, were thought dead many years, are now revived to the majestic cedar joined, whose issue promises Britain peace and plenty.
Well, by peace we will begin. And Caius Lucius, although the victor, we submit ourselves to Caesar and to the Roman Empire, promising to pay our wanton tribute, from which we were dissuaded by a wicked queen, whom heaven's injustice on her and hers have laid most heavy hand.
The fingers of the powers above do tune the harmonies of this peace.
Laud we the gods, a British and Roman ensign wait friendly together. So through Ludstown march, and in the temple of great Jupiter, our peace will ratify.
Yeah!
Sealed with feasts! Set on there. Never was a war did cease, ere bloody hands were washed with such a peace.